everyone. My name is Faith Gunderson, and I'm the marketing coordinator here at Schaeferts and Dean. And I want to welcome you to our Business Builder series. And I also want to thank you for being here. We know you're busy, so we appreciate you giving us your time. To make the most of your time, we encourage you to participate and ask questions by utilizing the chat box, which Doug or I will be monitoring. And before I continue, I want to introduce Doug.
Thank you, Faith. I'm Doug Dean, the owner and managing partner at Schaeferts and Dean, and I want to say a quick welcome to joining us today for our Business Builder Speaker Series. We do this the third Wednesday every month at 1 p.m., and we bring in different speakers to provide some valuable content to our friends of the firm. It's our way of giving back to the community that we serve, and we enjoy hosting these sessions. So we hope that you'll enjoy it, find it a good use of your time. Go ahead, Faith.
Before I go ahead and introduce Vince, I want to give a little preview of next month, which will be May 18th at 1 p.m. We will be having Jordan Allen, founder and CEO of Doorsy. And so we're excited for that and more details to come on that. But, and finally, welcome Vince, Mr. Renovation Nepolitan.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Faith and Doug, for the opportunity. Yes, my name is Vincent Nepolitan. I am a industry expert in construction and renovation financing. I've been doing construction and renovation financing for over 20 years. And I also do motivational speaking. I've been doing that for the military for the last 7 years, and mainly with the Marines. I was stationed out of Wounded Warrior Battalion West Hall in Camp Pendleton, San Diego for the last 7 years. And I just relocated and moved to beautiful Orlando, Florida. So super excited for the opportunity to share some cool stuff with you guys. So if we are ready to go, Faith, I'll go ahead and share my presentation.
Sure, Vince, take it away.
You got it. All right. So the purpose of today is we brought you together, and I am going to be speaking about how we are going to show everyone how you can grow your business in a low inventory market, surrounding some niche products that are available to every single consumer, home buyer, and homeowner. And that's including programs like renovation lending and construction lending, which I don't know if everybody has been following the industry. I'm sure you have, but right now we are facing some major industry issues, including a lack of inventory. We are facing a raising rate environment, and no better time to talk about ways to leverage programs like this, which is renovation loans that will help you expand your business, grow your business in a low inventory market, and help you to continue to be able to utilize programs that you can keep your revenue stream going, and you don't have to take really too many hits in your income, and using programs like this. So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and get started. And today we're going to talk about how you can close more transactions and, again, grow your business in a low inventory market using renovation loans. And if you guys are used to seeing these shows on HGTV, then you'll know who this is. Chip and Joanna Gaines, Fixer Upper. That is my long lost ginger soul brother there. Chip and Joanna Gaines. You guys have seen them all over the country. You've seen them in every Target, Magnolia Furnishings, and they put a staple on what's going on in the industry right now for renovation lending. And here's the really cool trick that I'll give to all of you that watch these shows. They are promoting renovation financing in every single episode that they do. 3 trigger terms that you'll notice in every single episode going forward. The first one is the acquisition price, the renovation budget, and the after completion value. Ladies and gentlemen, that is a renovation loan. That is what they're doing. So the school teacher in Waco, Texas, with the stay-at-home wife, unfortunately, they do not have a $350,000 bank account to go out and do these type of programs and do these type of loans. They are getting financing. They are getting renovation financing using FHA 203K or Fannie Mae Home Style, or of course, one of my favorite, the VA renovation loan. So these are the programs that are helping create inventory, and they're showing you the way. They're giving you the examples and teaching you how to use these programs, but they're also shedding a light on how they're taking the worst house in the best neighborhood and they're revitalizing the neighborhood. They're bringing up these values. They're helping fix these appraisal issues. They're helping first-time home buyers that are out trying to find properties in this market. And obviously there is no inventory, right? But renovation loans create inventory. For example, going through the MLS and looking for cash only or investor special. You don't need to do that. First-time home buyers can buy those properties and utilize them with renovation loans. FHA, 3.5% down. VA, 100% financing. They can use these loans no matter how bad the house is, and they can fix it up and create it their way. There's no better loan program than a renovation loan, and every single outlet that you're used to hearing in the industry today has it. Again, FHA, Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, and of course, VA. They all have a renovation outlet. So that leads me to the next group, Property Brothers. These guys have been the staple of the Fannie Mae home style renovation loan. The fix and flip people, right? One's an agent, one's a contractor. They team up and work together, and they are dominating the industry, and they've been doing it for years, utilizing renovation loans. And then how about last but not least, the power couple? Love it or list it. Everybody knows these guys because what they do is they put a spin on things a little bit different from the real estate perspective side. And what they do is they go out and find these current homes, again, the worst house in the best neighborhood. They revitalize it, they renovate it. And what they do is they take the average, let's say $300,000 home. They go out, talk to the customers about either renovating it, fixing it up, and falling back in love with the property, or fixing it up, putting it on the market and selling it for even more than what the current home value is. So, for example, they'll go out, they'll totally renovate the house, they'll gut it, they'll rebuild it and reconstruct it. They'll put $150,000 in renovations. Next thing you know, the after completion value on the house is now $450,000. What did they just do? They took that $300,000 house and they turned it into a $450,000 house. They revitalized it and brought it up to neighborhood revitalization and standards. That is a great spin on how you can work with current homeowners and home buyers in today's market. And there's no better way to leverage renovation financing than today, because obviously the industry is screaming for it. So what can you do with a renovation loan? Well, I'm going to show you guys some pictures and some things that I've done over the years. But again, I want to show you how we can grow your business in a low inventory market, how we're going to create inventory. But the most important is I'm going to show everybody how we can take those transactions that you're currently doing from crisis to commission. And what I mean by that is we are experiencing appraisal issues across the country. We're seeing overinflated values. Home buyers are coming in and having to pay way over asking price. I'm going to show you how you can utilize an FHA loan and maximize the cash flow for the home buyers so they don't have to come out of pocket for anything. And I'm talking about the negative appraisal difference as well. That's right. I'm going to show you how to use a renovation loan, and you won't have to come out of pocket and pay over the value, because you're going to be able to utilize the renovation loan that's going to get you that instant increase in value. I got some stuff that's going to blow your mind today. So let's keep going. I want to show you guys some pictures of some things that I've done. I've taken a single-story house and I've turned it into a two-story house. I literally added over 1,700 square feet to this house utilizing a renovation loan. The way that the loan sat and the way that the home was in its current condition, the home value was worth $390,000 in California. After we renovated it and went up a level and added another 1,700 square feet, the after completion value was $790,000. What do you think we did there? We created huge opportunity for the home buyer, and we created inventory. The customer was going to try to sell their house. They were going to try to buy this bigger house that you see. But like Yahoo Finance just announced in their last announcement in the on the social media platform was 80% of current home buyers are planning on renovating their house. Perfect time to learn about renovation loans. That's what's going to get the growth in today's market. So huge news by Yahoo Finance. But again, what I want to talk about is the renovation loans. They allow you to close an as-is condition, customize it, modernize it, and update the house, all one payment, one rate, one time. They are not seconds. They are not anything quirky, any type of tricky loans that you're not used to seeing. They are a regular FHA loan, a regular Fannie Mae loan, VA financing. They're all the same. It's just the construction piece that we're going to go over today that's going to allow you to better understand these programs. So FHA 203K is the first one that we'll start with. It breaks down into two components. The FHA limited 203K or FHA 203K streamline that you're used to hearing about is perfect for the first-time home buyer, perfect for remodeling purposes. It allows you to come in, maybe get some new appliances, a refrigerator, washer, dryer, dishwasher, ovens, built-in microwaves. You can do all the major appliances. Think about how you can help first-time home buyers that are struggling, that just need to get the basic appliances in their property. How about remodeling the property with the way it is? Because maybe it's a little dated. Maybe it needs some new flooring, or maybe it needs some new carpet and paint. Maybe it needs some new countertops. Maybe they want to refresh and revitalize that kitchen. No better way to use a regular FHA loan, 3.5% down, to fix up that house. How about a standard 203K? This is the other side of FHA that allows you to do the major construction. Remember how I told you we'll create inventory? Here's what I mean. You could take a customer out, and they got to be in a certain neighborhood, but everything that you're looking at is 3-bedroom, 2-bath, but the homeowner or the home buyer needs a 4-bedroom, 3-bath. Perfect opportunity to utilize an FHA loan. You can take that 3-bedroom, 2-bath, and you can create and make that 4-bedroom, 3-bath property. That's another way we can create inventory. It doesn't matter where the area is, as long as they love the area. As you all know, especially on the real estate side, location, location, location. The only thing a renovation loan can't change is location, but it can change everything else. And the best part about it is you can use what's called a certified HUD consultant, not a HUD contractor. That's a myth in the industry. A HUD consultant that will work with the licensed contractors, that will help them gauge all the FHA health and safety deficiency items that need to be addressed in the property. And the only thing that FHA does not like is adding new swimming pools and doing major landscaping. That is what they call luxury items, and that is all. However, you can repair a swimming pool no matter how bad it is. If the swimming pool is empty or needs all new equipment, pumps, all that stuff, you can fix those utilizing the FHA 203K loan. I've seen some properties where they need a new swimming pool. They need to redo the foundation. They need to fix maybe the cracked slab, whatever the case is, it's got a leak. You can fix that, no problem. You can utilize the FHA 203K for that. Now, again, I want to kind of highlight the programs for you a little bit more. The limited 203K, perfect for remodel, perfect for updating, customizing, modernizing, and updating. It does have a cap of $35,000, but again, you can do all the major appliances, you can do all the updates, and you can write your offers just like you normally do. When you write your contracts, you write them up as an FHA. All you have to do is write in the word renovation or 203K. You do not have to worry about the amount of renovation. You don't have to worry about what the customer is going to do. You write the offer as is based on the acquisition price. So for the customer that's buying a house for $300,000, you would write it up at $300,000 with 3.5% down of the $300,000. The loan itself changes if they wanted to do the limited 203K and put $35,000 into the house. The loan would be based on $335,000 with 3.5% down. But the purchase contracts always will stay the same. I like to highlight that because we don't want to complicate the process, and we want to make it easy for everybody so that they understand how to use these programs and they don't have to start thinking outside of the box. The standard 203K allows you to do all the major and remodel. So it allows you to do the room additions. It allows you to do the foundation issues, repair those swimming pools, revitalize everything. But here's the best part about the standard 203K. For the consumer that's going to do major work, let's say they're going to gut the property, or they're going to add square footage like we did on that picture that I showed you, they get to finance up to 6 months of mortgage payments included with their renovation. So that way, when they're living somewhere else, they don't have to make multiple mortgage and rental payments. That's huge. So they can escrow up to 6 months of payments in with their renovation reserves while they're not living in the property, while all the work is being done. That's a great opportunity to utilize a standard FHA 203K, do a ton of work to the property, and go rent somewhere else for 6 months and use that and use the funds to make the mortgage payments while they're living somewhere else. So it does not create what we call a financial hardship. Huge opportunity in the standard 203K space. Here's one that I did in Atlanta, Georgia. If you take a look at the kitchen on the left, the property wasn't moving. Actually, we just closed this one back in February. And this one was great because if you take a look at the kitchen, it was a little dated. People were coming in, taking a look. They weren't really high and mighty on it. But when somebody did a renovation loan, take a look at what they did. They completely changed the outlook of that kitchen, remodeled it, changed all of the location of the appliances, and completely redid it with all new wood floors, matching cabinets, and everything throughout. That is a renovation loan. Perfect opportunity for you to see how these work. How about this house? Take a look at that bathroom. Most people would pass on that. I get it. It looks kind of scary. There's a huge hole in the ceiling, and most people look at that toilet and say, oh my gosh, there's no way I'm going near that bathroom. But what about after? That's exactly what the renovation loan is going to do. It's going to allow you to fix those properties, fix that bathroom, remodel it, and restructure it the way you want it. No better way to do these bathroom updates and not be afraid of those properties that are out there. Everybody says that there is no inventory. I get it. This is the inventory that's out there. There is a ton of it because that's what everybody's been afraid of. So everything that is out there, you might want to get used to these loans because this is how we're going to fix them. This is how we're going to make them lendable, and we're going to be able to create opportunities for first-time home buyers and things of that nature. So the great thing about the FHA, it does all the same type of programs that you're used to, the 30-year fix, the 15-year fix, the ARMs, everything. But here's another really cool tip about FHA 203K loans. It allows you to do multi-unit properties. It takes a 2-unit and you can turn it into a 3-unit or a 4-unit, or you can take those 5 units and turn it to 4 units. It also does manufactured properties. If you're in the manufactured space, July 1976 or newer, FHA guidelines do apply, but we can include permanent foundation, 433A certs, all of the engineering certs, and we can make those manufactured homes lendable as long as they own the land or the space. Again, huge opportunity in the manufactured space if you're ever trying to do manufactured homes and you're trying to get into another niche product for yourself. Now, here's the biggest thing about an FHA 203K. Remember how I told you how we're going to combat appraisal issues or low appraisals? This is how we're going to do it. Are you ready? A purchase that comes in at $400,000. You write an offer at $400,000, but the appraisal comes in at $385,000. Seller's not going to drop the price. The buyer doesn't have $15,000 laying around. In most situations, that deal usually dies, but not with an FHA 203K. Let me explain. If we flip that to an FHA 203K, now what's going to happen is we're going to do like maybe $10,000 in upgrades. We're going to do some new appliances, maybe some new granite countertops or some new flooring. Then what we're going to do is we're going to recert that appraisal. We're going to flip it. It's a program code change with FHA, which allows us to redo the disclosures and redisclose the loan under the program code change, which now reflects renovation 203K. A regular FHA loan is classified as what's called a 203B. They are classified by code changes. So now we take $10,000, we recertify the appraisal, we change it to a renovation loan. Now we get to go 110% of the after completion value. Here's what I mean. Once we send that $10,000 bid to the contractor and show them that we're going to do some upgrades to the property, we're going to flip it to a 203K. The appraiser is going to say, you know what? I see that you're doing new countertops, new flooring, whatever the case is. I'm going to change the appraisal to an FHA 203K. I'm also going to increase the value a little bit for you to 390. Well, most people look at that situation and say, Vince, I was $15,000 negative. Now I'm $20,000 negative. You just made it worse. Actually, nope, I helped you. Here's why. You get to go 110% of that 390. Now I can lend up to $429,000. What did I just do? I saved your loan. Here's how it works. The seller was selling the property at $400,000. The buyer wrote the offer and signed and agreed to the property at $400,000. They were willing to pay $400,000 for the house. We added $10,000 in renovation, bringing us to a total of $410,000. The 110% of 390 now allows us to go up to $429,000. We are only going up to 410. The seller is going to net the 400. The buyer is going to get the property for the 400 plus the 10,000 in reno. There is no more low appraisal. If that doesn't blow your mind, I don't know what will, because that is how we can fix these low appraisal issues utilizing programs like the FHA 203K. Huge opportunity with renovation loans on FHA 203K, especially with low appraisal issues. That deserves a boom. Now, here's what we're going to do. Now I want to switch topics and I want to talk a little bit about the VA renovation loan. The VA renovation loan is one of my favorites because, again, I've been doing motivational speaking for the military. I'm actually a vice president for the Wounded Warrior Support Network. I've been with them for the last 9 years, but also with that, working with the active and retired military communities, what I do is talk about the VA opportunities and benefits to our veterans. There's nothing more powerful than being able to use a VA renovation loan. If anybody has ever done a VA appraisal, you will know that if there's a scratch on the hand railing in the property, you're going to have a problem. However, not with a VA renovation loan, not to mention what we can do for our wounded veterans. Here's what I mean. We can take that regular single family house and we can make it handicap accessible. We can add wheelchair access ramps, expand showers, lower countertops. Once you can do that for a veteran, especially that's wounded, there is no better opportunity to do what's best for the customer and utilize a VA renovation loan. There is no better way to help our veterans than that right there. We should never be afraid of our VA loans. And I know most people are because of the appraisals. You don't have to worry about that anymore because the VA renovation loan is not only going to fix whatever issues are wrong with the property, but it's going to allow you to do more and customize it and modernize it for the veteran so they can maybe create the home that they want. Maybe they want the ultimate dream kitchen. Maybe they need the handicap accessibility. Maybe they need those things and the appliances and things of that nature. It's 100% financing loan. A lot of veterans that are coming out of the military with the transition of life after the military, they don't have large bank accounts to go out and pay for these things. And why in the world would we want to steer them to a credit card when they can put it in their financing all for one rate and payment to simplify their lives and simplify the process? That is a game changer in the market. So the VA renovation loan, huge opportunity. It goes to $50,000 and there's a lot you can do with $50,000 to upgrade a home for a veteran, especially that wants to maybe revitalize or re-update the kitchen or, again, handicap accessibility. And then last but not least, what I'd like to talk about is the Fannie Mae home style. This one is really cool because unlike FHA, unlike VA, it allows you to do all the luxury items, including the landscaping and the swimming pools. Now, the basic Fannie Mae loan allows you to do the 3% down with the home ready. It allows you to do the standard 5% down for owner occupants. It does do swimming pools, spas, major landscaping. There is no minimum repairs required. And it does all of the ultimate backyard amenities. What if they want to do the built-in fire pits or the amazing pool backyard in the bars and everything like that? They can do that. The swimming pools, they want to build that amazing custom swimming pool. They want to do the spas. They want to do the waterfalls and the splash pads and all that. They can do that with the Fannie Mae renovation loan. That is huge. And again, it does as little as 3% down with the Home Ready program, 5% down for the standard customer that wants to do an owner occupied. Yes, mortgage insurance does apply to these, just like every other loan with FHA and Fannie Mae if they don't meet the down payment minimum requirements. But again, they get to utilize it and fix the house and customize it, modernize it, and update it their way. It does work for second homes and investors. Yes, second homes, they can do them. They can do it with 10% down. They can do those vacation homes, those snowbird properties. Investors can also utilize these and put 20% down. I'm going to kind of capitalize on the investor piece real quick. Here's why. Investors are buying properties like crazy, utilizing hard money loans, paying all kinds of points and fees, not to mention the separate financing for the renovation on these investment properties. Now, here's the best thing about a Fannie Mae investor loan. Not only do they get to buy the property and fix it, but they get to put all the renovation in their property. They get to customize it and build it all in their financing, maximizing their cash flow, 20% down. They can finance up to 6 months of payments. If the property is not livable while they're doing the renovation, they may not ever have to make a mortgage payment if they get it done within the 6 months. And boom, it's okay to fix and flip. Get out of here. Investors, if you qualify for a loan, you got to do this. This is the best way to maximize your cash flow, fix and flip, 20% down, standard Fannie Mae guidelines do apply. I'm telling you right now, that right there should be an eye opener, especially for my agents that are working with investors that are out there in the market today, trying to find other avenues for their investors. Great opportunity for maybe home buyers that bought a property or two that really want to get into the investment side. Perfect opportunity to advertise and market the Fannie Mae home style investor. So I like to highlight that for the investors. I like to kind of go over that and cover that. Now, I'm going to kind of highlight a couple more pictures for you. It looks like we're doing good on time, so just want to make sure. So here's the thing about this picture. This is a property that I did in LA. And the agent would always advertise fully renovated, fully remodeled, come check out my property, come check out my list. And I would always go on there and say, hey, that's perfect for a renovation loan. You should call me. And they would always question and laugh and say, Vince, come on, I just renovated this house. And I'd say, yeah, well, the old school track lighting in the ceiling, and maybe you want to open up that kitchen a little bit more. I don't like to cook in the kitchen like a dog chasing my tail, doing a 360 in the kitchen. I need to open up that kitchen. You did great with the flowers and everything. You decorated it really nice, but I think I want the kitchen on the right. And that's exactly what happened with that property. Somebody came in and bought it, utilized the renovation loan, and they completely remodeled that kitchen and opened it up. The reason I say this is because I want to highlight the word turnkey property. First of all, in this market, it doesn't exist. But if it did, I want everybody to understand there is no such thing as a turnkey property. The reason I say that is because everybody sees a home for what it could be. If you've ever purchased a house or gone out and showed properties and done all these things, you know that every time you walk through a house, you see potential. You see it for what it could be. That's a renovation loan. That's exactly what it does. It's going to give them the opportunity to fix it and create it their way. How about homes damaged and distressed by fires or natural disasters? Perfect opportunity to fix those houses and revitalize them, utilizing a renovation loan, or the 203H, which is a natural disaster loan, which is a step up from the renovation loan from the 203K. Huge opportunity to fix those properties that are out there on the market. Now, what are the benefits? Well, I want to talk a little bit about the refinance market just real quick so you guys understand. a little bit of the mortgage side to this. You can also utilize renovation loans for refinances. The reason I like to talk about the refinance opportunity is because what if a customer wants to fix up their house and then maybe sell it after they do that? Could be an opportunity, love it or list it. They do it all the time. So here's why I'm bringing this up to you. Because renovation loans are not a cash out refinance. They are a rate and term refinance. Therefore, the customer gets to go to the max financing, the max loan to value, based on the after completion value. Unlike a cash out refinance that is stuck at 80% of the existing property value. That is an upward swing of 25 to 30% more in equity that they could be utilizing. Yes, I'm not kidding. That is 25 to 30% more in equity. And again, they are considered a rate and term refinance. They are not considered a cash out. Huge opportunity to use that love it or list it promo that you see on HDTV that will give you some opportunities to maybe work with some of these home buyers that want to fix the house and maybe turn it and sell it. Just throwing it out there for you, giving you a little inside track. Now, when you take a look at a house like this, would you show this to your customers? Most people say no. I get it, but what about after? No, I'm just kidding. We're not doing that. But here's what I'm going to get at. This is what people see. When they see this, they visualize this. Why? Because they're turning their house into their home. I don't care if it's a $100,000 house or $1 million house, a multi-million-dollar LeBron James house, it doesn't matter. Everybody sees it for what it could be. That's the goal, right? Now, I love talking about this because this is my favorite, especially for my agents that have been doing open houses, or because the market is going to drastically change soon and we do have to start doing open houses. Imagine, if you would, if I could create a design center at an open house. Here's what I mean. Have you ever worked with a new home builder and gone to the show gallery and picked out all your options? Your flooring, your carpet, your tile, your paint, all your brand new appliances. That's the best part about working with a new home builder. What if I told you I could do that at an open house? We can go and do and present all of the new flooring samples, tile samples, carpet samples, all the updated bathroom and kitchen brochures, all the appliances. We can create that show gallery at an open house. So all the properties that are distressed that are available out there, imagine if we went and started doing open houses, sitting at properties and showing them when they walk through how they can pick their own flooring, how they can revitalize the house and get new appliances, new countertops, paint, all that stuff. They're going to see the house for what it could be. That is how you visualize change. The renovation show gallery. So I like to highlight that because if you want to do open houses, or if you plan on getting into the open house scene, which is going to be happening pretty soon, I'm telling you it will change. And when it does, remember this, because this is going to be an opportunity that's going to show you how you can take these homes and create that design center feel at an open house, to let them walk through and want to pick out options throughout the house and customize the house their way. Is done. That's an easy sale. So I like to highlight that for those open houses, for people that like to do open houses. And last but not least, I want to show you the MLS. Here's one that I did right before COVID. This was a property that sat on the market. The agent was telling us at the event that I was holding that this house was not moving. They didn't understand why. It was sitting on the market for months. Now, I want to highlight why. I want to highlight why it sat on the market, why these houses are still sitting on the market. The tagline, public remarks, the first word, investor special. Why? What just happened with that? The way that they listed the property with investor special, you have now cut out more than 50% of the buying opportunities in the market. Cash only, investor special, things like that. First-time home buyers would never look at this property because they would think that they never stood a chance because you're listing it as an investor special. But let's keep going. It talks about the legendary Paradise Palm, historic crown. Hollywood celebrities have graced this community. Oh, sorry, no working swimming pool. Wow, you just kind of killed it for me, right? So now I see why this property was not moving. Investor special, you hit me with the good stuff, but then bam, you come in with the right hook, no working swimming pool. Now I know why you're going investor special. But what if we change that and we advertise it for first-time home buyers that could come in and fix that swimming pool, and they don't need to be an investor? Once we changed it, once we changed the wording, once we put renovation financing available, come in and customize, modernize, and update the house your way, come pick your options, come pick your flooring, come revitalize the swimming pool, things of that nature. They put it back on the listing and the MLS. It sold within the first week. The first week. Why? Because they opened up the listing. They changed the wording. Those kind of things are going to be crucial in today's market going forward. The lack of inventory, the things that we're facing, all the struggles, this is going to change it. This is how we're going to fix it. We're going to go to those expired listings that are out there. First of all, why in the world are we finding expired listings? Well, because it's either distressed, dilapidated, or way overpriced. Let's go revisit those expired listings. Let's target those and say, hey, I've got a way to help you. You want to get top dollar for your property? I can show you how. Let's utilize the renovation loans and let's still get you top dollar. So when the buyer comes in, they can renovate it, fix it their way, and increase the appraised value. Huge opportunity for all of you utilizing niche programs like renovation. So that's it. What I'd like to do is I'd like to give all of you my personal website. Everybody in the industry utilizes my website. I am known again as Mr. Renovation, as Faith so generously pointed out for me in the beginning. But this website I created in the industry for everybody. Lenders, realtors, brokers, everybody uses my website because it's an informational homepage about every single product and program in the construction and renovation industry. MrRenovationCTP.com. You can learn all about renovation loans. You can watch 2-minute cartoon videos. You can go through and learn about construction to perm, one-time close, any type of renovation program available. I have it on my website for you to learn about. And that's pretty much it, guys. I just wanted to go ahead and pause here. We are looking like we're right on time for questions, comments, and concerns. We got a little over 15 minutes. So Faith, I'm gonna turn it back over to you.
Thank you.
Thank you, my friend.
We did have a question above, and forgive me if you answered it, but we have, do you have any recommended lenders for Fannie Mae home style investor?
We sure do. You can always reach out to myself if you ever need help. I do work with Equity Prime as their national renovation sales manager. I don't ever like to go on any type of events like this and advertise myself, but because you asked, I will go ahead and tell you, yes, I do offer all the renovation programs that we just talked about. I will go ahead and put that in the chat for you. I will give you my email, which is...
And we'll include your contact information and website and all that in the email that goes out after this as well. So
oh, perfect.
It'll be there, but you can also put it in the chat too. We have another from Jamie. Do you have to qualify for the total renovation budget plus the purchase?
That's a great question. The answer is yes, because it's the overall qualifying for the loan. So for example, $300,000, they want to put $50,000 in renovation. They are financing $350,000. Now, to kind of highlight that a little bit better, if a consumer is qualified for the max, Jamie, of $300,000, then what you can do is understand that, let's say they were qualified for $300,000 for FHA. That means they qualify for up to $300,000 with an FHA 203K. which now will open up the doors for you to go out instead of trying to find that picture perfect house at $300,000, which, let's be honest, not going to happen in today's market. You could go out and look for properties 200,000, 220. The remainder between the 200,000 and the 300,000 that they qualify for can be used for the renovation budget, which is going to allow them to utilize the difference that they can use to revitalize the home. So that is a great question, and hopefully I answered it and kind of gave you a little bit extra on top of that. Good question though, great question. I saw a whole bunch of questions here at the top. Should I start at the top maybe? We can always give you copies of the PowerPoint and slides. No problem. I did see that, Corey. Yep, no worries. We can share the PowerPoint.
Vince, we record the Business Builder Speaker Series, the Zoom presentation, and then we also post it on our YouTube channel or YouTube site. So folks will be able to come back and review it again, and those who weren't able to participate can catch it on our YouTube channel as well.
Oh, perfect.
We also send a thank you email to the participants, thanking them for being here, and share the presentation as well.
Beautiful. That's great information. Thank you so much.
Go ahead, Corey.
Thank y'all for the information too. This has been like really good. You say investors can use, I guess, like the conventional renovation loan?
Correct.
Now,
that's the Fannie Mae home style.
Can you buy it under an entity though, or does it have to be under a personal?
So when you say an entity, you mean like an LLC or an S corp
like
or things of that nature? Yeah, they have to buy it as the individual, but they can also deed in and out. And again, you can probably gauge that question with Doug and those kind of title questions. But they can always deed out and then deed back in, things of that nature. But they do have to close as the individual.
But it's like, let's just say if I bought one of those under a LLC, well, under my regular name, and a year later or so, I'm like, okay, I want to sell it. This equity crazy.
Okay.
I could do it with no penalty.
That's correct.
Okay. And then the next question, I caught a part, you said something like you can do the financing and escrow for up to 6 months or something.
Yep, while the property is not habitable. So if the property is not livable, you can finance up to 6 months of mortgage payments while you're not living in the property.
Is that the principal and interest or just interest?
Yep, all of it, PITI, the full payment.
Okay.
Principal, interest, taxes, insurance, if they're all escrowed, they get to go up to 6 months of payments of whatever their mortgage payment is.
So is that like added to the close, like say on the buyer, that's added to my closing costs? I'm kind of just paying it up front.
It's actually added into your renovation budget. So if you had if you had a $150,000 renovation budget and we took 6 months of payments for you because the property's not livable, it gets included in the renovation budget, and then the mortgage payments get made out of the renovation funds every month.
Wow. Yeah, I never knew that. That's good information.
You got it. Great question.
Now, your name, Mr. Renovation, I missed like the first 5 minutes. Do you do like renovation, the building side of it, or?
Do I do buildings?
No, your name, Mr. Renovation, is it because of the lending aspect, or you actually like have contractor crews, or?
We do, yeah. So I have all kinds of contractors all over the country. I have HUD consultants all over the country that I have access to. It's in our database, in our system, but I'm known as Mr. Renovation for my financing, for renovation financing. But yes, we do have multiple construction crews, as well as we're working on a national account with Home Depot. So yes, we do have all kinds of avenues to help.
Now I'm locally in Georgia. Is it a contact person or somebody like? Because it sounds like I can almost go through you to do a whole transaction. Like if I had
we have offices in Atlanta, which is where my home office is based. I do have a house there. I do always go back and forth from Atlanta. We're licensed in all states, so it doesn't matter where you're at. We can help you.
Okay, so like if I go through your website, I could probably find like a contact or something for the Atlanta office or something. How does that
Yeah,
work?
or you can just email me throughout both of my personal emails, and I can always send you some information based on your area. Yep.
Perfect. Okay.
Great questions. Great questions.
Yeah.
Christy asked if there's, oh, I'm sorry, Faith, go
No,
ahead.
that's what I was going to say. Go ahead.
I'm totally stealing your thunder.
No.
So Christy asked about software programs. Yes, actually, there are multiple software programs. There's apps in the App Store, things that you can do to go through a house and kind of visualize. There's major programs that you could also buy and that you can download and have on your laptops to visualize those things. Perfect example with Fixer Upper, they utilize those softwares. They give the customer the opportunity to go through and visualize the changes that they want so they can see it and really kind of create that concept. So the answer is yes, there's multiple softwares and things that you can use, especially for distressed properties. So hopefully that, there are a couple that I would recommend, yes. If you want, shoot me an email and I will help you. I'll give you a couple names. I will tell you that some of those softwares can be very expensive. For example, like the one HDTV uses, that software is like, I want to say it's about like $7,500 bucks. It's crazy expensive, but there are other softwares that are a lot less expensive that you can have on your laptop. And then again, there are some in the App Store that you can download, and we can go through those for sure. But yeah, shoot me an email and I can give you a couple that you could look at. Great question. Great question.
I got one more I just thought of.
Go for it, Corey.
Like on the closing, you know, say they doing the FHA 203, time frame wise, is it just like a regular closing, you know, like a 30-day closing or whatever? Or?
Yeah, so that's an amazing, great question. So yes, so the answer to that is it could be a standard FHA traditional closing. However, if they're doing a very large scope of work, if they're doing $150,000, $200,000 major projects, I will tell you that the odds are you're not going to close in 30 days on that thing. But you're probably going to need 45 days to kind of give yourself that time and extension, 45 to 60 days, depending on the consumer and the contractor. You could see some delays in those. And the reason that you see delays in those is because the customer always changes their mind. They watch HDTV and all of a sudden, oh, wait, now I want to do this. I want to remodel my master bedroom and I want to add this in. And every time you change the scope of work, which can be done until the loan closes and funds, you're changing the loan, you're changing the program, you're changing the dollar amount, the financing, the qualifications. So yes, it sometimes can give you time constraints. However, we do go over that with the consumer and let them know, listen, when you're going through this and you get your bid from your contractor, we highly suggest that you have a good budget in mind and where you want to go. Meaning, what do you want to do with it? How far do you want to go with your renovation and construction? What's the most and what did we qualify you for? So if we qualified you for $400,000 and your property that you're buying is worth $300,000, but then you want to go and do a $200,000 budget, we got a problem, right? Because we qualified you for $400,000, you got $100,000 to play with, not $200,000. You see what I'm saying? So we have to kind of work with the consumer and explain that to them, which we do. We definitely do that. What's the inspection process for a 203K loan? Great question, V. So an inspection on a property from the HUD consultant is they go out and inspect the property based on health and safety concerns. They make sure that it's going to meet FHA standards. If it doesn't, then they will go ahead and add that to the appraisal, which we can add to the construction budget to get all those items addressed in the appraisal that have been called out. So that is the inspection. It's the same thing as a home inspector almost, little different because they act different. But what they do is they go through the property and they call out all the items that they know that the FHA appraiser is going to want addressed. So hopefully that gives you an idea. But on your standard 203Ks, you will always have a certified HUD consultant inspector that will go through the property and work on the inspections with the consumer and the contractor. Definitely. It can be used to buy and hold as well, for sure. Great question.
I got this. I know this good because I keep asking questions.
I love it.
Could you utilize it and put a tent? Like, say if I was a buyer, could I utilize it and put a tenant in, like after it's renovated, or? Because I'm just trying to distinguish between it being a true investor loan and like a loan under Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac guidelines.
So really, I want to answer that, but I kind of don't want to answer that. You know what I mean? And let me explain why. If somebody is going to say they're going to use an FHA loan, which is for primary residence only,
Yeah.
and that's what it's for. So technically you're supposed to live in the property. However, if you decide to do something different and you want to go and you're going to move up and you said, hey, this isn't the house for me, I'm going to buy something else. I can't dictate what you do with your property after you buy it, but the rules are you bought it as a single family residence. So yeah, you're supposed to live in it.
Okay.
That is a gray shaded area that we see consumers do all the time. But as long as everybody knows you're buying it as a primary residence, you're supposed to occupy the residence. That's all we can tell you. Whatever you do with it is it's going to be up to you, but just know that FHA is for primary residence only. You see what I'm saying? So,
yeah. Now, if the zoning allowed it, could you turn a single family into a duplex or something like that?
You sure could. You
Okay.
definitely can do multi-unit. You can do 2 units, 3 units, up to 4 units, owner occupied FHA, and under FHA guidelines, you can utilize the rental income to qualify under the self-sufficiency rule. So yes, you can do multiple units, up to 4 units. Same thing on Fannie Mae home style, primary residence only, you can do multi-unit.
Okay. Can you add a second story to like a house that was just a single family? Single level?
Definitely. Yep.
Man, where's the stuff in there? Okay.
You can do ADUs, which is another big one. We see people do the ADU, which is an auxiliary dwelling unit. That is your single family house, and they add another structure on the property that they want to use for the ultimate she shed or the man cave, things like that. You can do that for sure. You can do all those things.
That's crazy.
Yeah, great question though.
Yeah.
I see some more questions came in, Faith.
Yes, if you see them, you can go ahead and answer them. I think the most recent one I saw after Corey's was Kim's, which says, what would be the recommended due diligence period that we should ask for to get everything in place for the buyer?
So your due diligence period for your contingency period, I always say, keep it the same. Don't worry about anything because the renovation piece is going to be the same. If the consumer goes through and looks at the property and you guys see the property the way it is, and you go through attorney review or whatever the case is, there is going to be no difference in that. What's going to happen is all the items, if they get called out later by the appraiser or things of that nature, then we go back during the attorney review and say, hey, we had some issues that got called out. We need to get this, and this fixed. The great thing about the renovation loan is the seller doesn't have to fix them. The consumer can fix them and put that into their financing and bypass all the issues so the loan can continue to move forward. So I like to use that because I like to say, don't change your normal business model. Don't change the way you do business today. Just remember that renovation loans can help you bypass those issues and those struggles if they happen to come up. So your contingency periods will all be the same. Great question.
And then also Carol said, what's the limit you can borrow if you are doing a duplex or quad? And I do see a hand raised too, so we'll get to that after.
Yep, I did see that too. So the limit is going to be your FHA loan limit for your county. So if you have multi-units and you're buying 3 to 4 units, you are now in a whole nother category for whatever the loan limit is for FHA. And of course, Fannie Mae high balance. So you get to go to Fannie Mae high balance, and whatever your loan limits are for your multi-unit, that is going to be your limit for your renovation. Same thing. Great question.
Okay, so
then-
you're saying you're saying that Fannie Mae and FHA both have the opportunity for you to buy a multifamily unit up to, 4 units. And what's the upfront down payment on that?
Great question. And again, it's going to be based on whatever the current amount is, and they're going to put down the basic, just like they would on an FHA or Fannie Mae. FHA is 3.5% down of the total loan amount. Same thing for Fannie Mae. 3% is the minimum. 5% is the standard for a owner-occupied single family. They can do as little as 5% down on Fannie Mae. But again, it's on the total combined loan itself.
Okay, so what if there's renovation is needed for those particular, I'm sorry, that's my cell phone, for those particular units? Let's say if we need an additional amount of money to get the units where we need them to be or modernize them?
Yep, so you can do that. You can renovate all 4 units if needed. Whatever the case is going to be, we can take that 4-unit property, we could turn it to 3 units if they want to expand one of the units and make like a really big master unit. I've seen that all the time, but again, it's going to be based on whatever the county loan limit is, and then whatever the basis of the qualifications are for the consumer that they qualify for. So for example, in California, on a 4-unit property in LA County, that's 1.375 million. Instead of the standard $700 and something thousand mark that they have for their regular high balance. Because of the multi-unit factor to go to 1.375 million. So now what they can do is they can renovate up to that. And if they qualify for the max, then that's going to be what they qualify for the renovation. So again, the dollar amount is going to be the factor of how much they want to do and how much they qualify for. So if they qualify for that 1.375 at the max, and the property that with all the renovation was $250,000, and they're renovating all 4 units and they're qualified for that amount, no problem. They can do that. As long as they're qualified in the financing, you can't over qualify. You see what I'm saying? The renovation loan is not the Superman of all lending. It doesn't allow them to go over what they qualify for, but it does help them get the max out of the financing and utilize the renovation dollar amount to fix those properties, including your multi-unit for up to 4 units. So yes, you can renovate all 4. You can do all those things.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, great questions. Great questions. Where would buyers find the contractors for reno? Will the lender have a list? Oh, that's a great question. So I will tell you now, I like to utilize websites, and I'm going to go ahead and put these on here for you just to help. HomeAdvisor.com is one of them, one of my favorites. HomeAdvisor.com. I always see people in Facebook and Instagram say, hey, I need help finding a plumber. Does anybody know anybody? I always go on there and say, yeah, HomeAdvisor.com. You'll find hundreds in your zip code. Go in there and search for whoever you want. You can find licensed contractors, you can find handyman, you can find everything on homeadvisor.com. The other one is angieslist.com, or now known as angie.com. And angie's.com will allow you the same thing. They will help you find licensed contractors in your area, in your zip code. It doesn't matter if you're in Podunk, Wyoming, or you're in Atlanta, Georgia. You can use those websites and you can find contractors all at the click of a button. When I bought my house in Orlando, Florida, I used HomeAdvisor. I had electricians, plumbers, everybody come out to my house literally within 24 hours. That's how great those websites are. And as lenders, they do have contacts, especially for HUD consultants. We help find HUD consultants all over the country. Contractors is a little different. And what I mean by that is lenders are not allowed to steer towards a certain single entity, meaning one contractor, but they can provide sources like homeadvisor.com, things of that nature, list of contractors that are in the area, things of that nature. So yes, there are some opportunities there as well. Great questions. Anything else that I can answer for you guys?
Vince, just a couple of quick questions I wanted to throw out. First, I wanted to clarify, because thought I understood from a slide earlier, I do think of FHA as for primary residence or for, home, but I thought I'd understood you to say investors could use it with 20% down.
That's correct. So the Fannie Mae allows owner occupied, second home, and investors. And per Fannie Mae guidelines, your owner occupied is 3 to 5% down. Your second home is 10% down, and your investor is 20% down.
Okay, so that clarified that you can use it for investors. It's just a higher down payment, and that makes sense. The other thing is FHA and VA customarily have the amendatory clause that if the property does not appraise, that the buyer is entitled to cancel the contract and get a refund of their earnest money. And since these are still FHA and VA, although they're renos, I assume they still contain amendatory clauses that if the reno doesn't bring it to where they need from an appraisal standpoint, they've still got that right to terminate and get a refund of earnest money.
Exactly, for sure. Standard FHA and VA guidelines do apply. Great,
So,
great question.
I got a question on the 20% down option again. You still can't purchase that one under the entity, right? It's still, because is it labeled an investor loan?
It is under Fannie Mae guidelines, but they're qualifying for the loan as the individual, not the business.
Oh, it's just like it's like, it's not your primary house. It's like a second or third house. So it's labeled an investor.
Exactly. Yeah. So Fannie Mae, when they open up to investors, which they do, forget about the renovation aspect. Fannie Mae works with investors and they do 20% down requirements for standard investor loans. But it also combines with the home style, same guidelines, same down payment, same loan to value ratios. But it does allow you to combine the renovation for the investor, which is a huge opportunity.
Now, isn't there a rule like they want you to live in the house for 12 months or 2 years or something? Like the attorney normally, this might be a good question for the attorney too. I believe sometimes you guys ask a question like, do you plan on occupying the home for 12 months or something like that, I think.
Corey, that's a good question. And I'm going to put my attorney hat on. And that is, as a borrower, make sure you understand your lender requirements.
Yeah.
And if you are promising the lender that it will be your primary residence, make sure that is the case. The number one type of mortgage fraud is the misrepresentation of intent to occupy. So don't say, oh, I want to get this and I can only put 3 to 5% down. I just have to lie to my lender and tell them it's a primary residence when it's not. That is garden variety mortgage fraud. Now, to your second point, even when it's your primary residence, usually there's a clause that says, I'm buying it as my primary residence, and I anticipate it will remain my primary residence for the next 12 months. Okay. And if I don't, it just says, I just have to tell my lender that I got transferred, I'm moving. Not that they can call the loan due and payable. So again, just look closely. There's one page about it is currently my intent that it will be, and I expect it will be typically for 12 months, my primary residence.
Yeah, I love that. And I'm really glad you highlighted that because it brings back that question that you asked earlier, Corey, which is it's an owner occupied property. You're buying it as an owner occupied, and really the rules are you're supposed to intend to occupy that property and live in the property. So that's kind of why, I'm really glad that Doug highlighted that because, those are the rules. So.
Okay.
If
it was just
I was gonna say, if it's not your intent to occupy, just put 20% down and do it the right way.
Right. Or 10% as a second home if you plan on living in it half the year or, things of that nature. But you have to, really the best way I like to tell everybody is talk to your lender about those things. Talk to your agent about those things and say, listen, I plan on living in it half the year. Like myself, I go to Atlanta all the time to visit my home office. I do live in Atlanta at least 40 to 50% of the time, and I can classify as a second home. I could not classify as a primary, even though I could have said I was going to live there full time. That's mortgage fraud. I don't want to do that. So I put down 10%. I did it as a second home, and I did it the right way.
Yeah.
So that's, really, that's why I like to highlight those things, because when you're doing those, talk to your lender, talk to your agent. And I like to tell the consumer all the time, treat us like your attorney, just like Doug, just like he said, right? I want to talk to my attorney. I'm going to trust in my attorney that I'm going to get the right advice. And that's what we're here for. We're going to give you the right advice, and we're going to tell you that, these are the rules and this is what you're doing. And you're buying an FHA primary residence. It's got to be your primary residence.
Yeah, the thing you got me so excited with this information. I'm ready to start telling my clients. So I'm just trying to ask the questions that they might ask me.
That's terrific. And that tells me we picked a good topic, a good speaker, and we're delivering some quality information for you.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
With that, I'd like to, are there any other questions? If not, I'd like to work on drawing it to a close. We do have Vince's contact information. He put his emails in the chat, and we will have the video on our YouTube channel by the end of next week. But any other questions while we're all here together? If not, I'd like to thank each and every one of you for joining us today, spending your time with us on our Business Builder Speaker Series. And I'd like to give a special word of thanks to Vince, Mr. Renovation Nepolitan, and thank you for sharing your time, your wisdom and expertise with us today. We appreciate it. Without further ado, we will go ahead and terminate and say thank you for being with us today. We appreciate it.
Thanks for having me. Thanks, everyone.
All right. Thank you. Take care.